So another friend of mine, Brian, step up here. He's a Vietnam vet, Brian Neri. He's a very good friend of mine. He's quite an exceptional man. He's been active with veterans groups, many organizations. He's, I don't know, restored countless number of military vehicles, including a Jeep like you see there today. He's been instrumental in keeping history alive. He's been a school teacher. He's been all over the world. He's quite an accomplished man, and he likes flying airplanes too, so he's right up my alley. He's a good man. And he served in Vietnam. He was a radio man, worked for the Signal Corps. He was in the Tet Offensive. So he's done his contribution to this country as well as Casey has. So I appreciate that and thankful for it. So appreciate your service, there, Brian.
Thank you. Just a few words, not as many as Casey, but just a few words. I was a draftee. I was teaching school. I was 27 years old when I entered the Army, single, of course. I went in not really knowing what to expect, although my father and many members of our family had been in the Second World War, First World War, the Civil War, and so on. Anyway, I did more than just twiddle knobs on radios when I was in. As you probably know, the military gives all sorts of things to do to anybody, whether they're qualified or not. I did my very best. I really did. I was happy until I got out and got back to the United States, and some of the public was very much against myself because I had been in the military. I still run across that occasionally today, but folks like you seem to be on the increase, and it just makes me feel so great and so wonderful that there are so many nice people, particularly the VA people. I've recently registered with the VA. I'm an Agent Orange victim, and they have done so much for me. I can't thank you enough.
Welcome home.
One more thing.
You could say whatever you want.
I would like to add one more person to thank for my being here with my story. My wife passed away about 7 years ago, and naturally, like any family, I went into the doldrums too, myself. And one day I found myself sitting in front of the TV set alone in my house because my kids are married, gone. I was alone, and I thought I was done. I said to myself, what the heck am I doing here? Alone, nobody to argue with, nobody to fight with, and nobody to pay attention to me. And truly, I was about to give up. I met the Major's girlfriend, at a hot dog stand. And from there, we blossomed out to a great friendship that we enjoy now. And in that friendship, I always remark that this man and his girlfriend brought me back to life when I was about to give up. So my appreciation and thanks to my best friend, my best buddy, Jared.
Sure, do you want to add anything?
Nah, I got nothing to add. I'm in their shadow, so.
I'd like to add something, sir.
Jared, you want to tell us on how you are,
That's
you
my-
preserve the Jeep? You're working together with
Yeah,
Casey?
so again, my girlfriend met Casey, and just so happened to be the weekend coming was more the weekend I worked at a flying breakfast, and I was giving veterans rides in airplanes. So I just read a story about him in the paper like 2 weeks prior. My grandfather's World War II vet, all his brothers were, so that very soft spot for World War II vets. Anyways, my grandma cuts out the articles for me. I read them when I'm flying across the pond. So I read his article about 2 weeks prior, and she called me up and said, hey, can you give a vet a ride? I said, yeah, happy to do it. You know, I got Memorial Weekend coming, we'll just tack him on with the rest of the veterans. Like, can you tell me a little bit about him? She just told me his stories. Like, I just read about him in the paper. So yeah, let's get him up in an airplane. So we brought him out to our local airport. We had a Stearman and a T6. We were flying that day. And he was up in both of them. He just had a blast in the airplane. He was like a little kid again. I think flying truly keeps you young. But anyways, I told him when my airplane's out of the shop, I was doing some maintenance work on it, we'd get together and fly again. And so he was dropped off from my house. I go inside. I live at a little airport, so he got dropped off. I go inside the house to grab my phone. I come back out, and Casey disappears. He vanished, gone. And I'm looking everywhere for him, in the hangar, in the house, around the house. He's nowhere to be found, and I'm getting in panic mode, getting ready to call his son, telling him I was lost for dad. I don't know what I was going to tell him, but anyways, I was literally dialing his number, and it was ringing as I'm walking out to the taxiway where the airplane is parked, and I looked out, and there he is sitting in the airplane all strapped and ready to go.
Waiting for the key.
And, we became best friends after that, and we've been still flying together. So we flew a couple days ago together, and any chance we get, we fly. So we're good buddies. Same with Brian. Brian's avid. Well, I wouldn't say avid. He owns 2 airplanes. He's quite a accomplished aviator himself. So, but through the love of aviation, it kind of keeps us tied, and I think it's keeps a good, strong bond between us.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you. This gentleman back here had something?
I'm a Vietnam veteran, and I really thank everybody for being here. It's really great. But I want to reiterate something that you said. I was a master crew chief on a B-52s and KC-135s, and I did several tours of Vietnam with that group. And when we come back, we landed in Hawaii. It was a large group of people who were very, very bitter about what we had done. And I remember that today, and I hope those people realize today to reverse themselves in the way they thought about what we did in Vietnam. But I remember that. Thank you.
Welcome home.